Today I want to share some of my all-time favorite pieces of hiking gear and clothing and just the things that I love on the trail. A lot of these things I have had and been using for years. Some of them are a bit newer to me, but they really are just my all-time favorites. First up, we have my current day hiking backpack, and I love this backpack. It is the Gregory Jade 38. And I got this because I wanted a day hiking backpack that was a little bit bigger than what I was using previously. And this one has more than enough space for day hiking, and it is so dang comfortable. So it has this nice mesh in the back that really keeps your back cool. And then the thing that I love the most is just these really thick, wide hip belts with big pockets. And I have pretty significant scoliosis in my back, which is just a curvature of the spine. And if I don't have these really supportive hip straps, my back just really hurts. So that's kind of a key factor for me when I'm looking at a backpack. But it just has pockets everywhere that I want pockets, really nice area for the water. And then this top pouch, easily accessible. And then this bottom part, there's like a mesh here, which is great, but then this also opens. So if you wanted to access stuff quickly that's in the bottom of your backpack, you could do that without having to come in through the top and take everything out. I just like the easy access in this backpack. I think it looks great, it's super comfortable, and it has more than enough space for day hiking, especially since I carry a lot of camera gear, and when I'm hiking in the colder seasons, I have even more layers in here, and so just having that extra space has been really, really nice. Next, we have my Bedrock sandals. I get so many questions about these in videos and also in person when I'm out actually like hiking and doing stuff. People stop and are like, wait, what are those sandals? So here we are. Yes. Okay, this is what feet should look like in the summer. But these are the best and only sandals that I use in the summer. And yes, I do hike in these, which I know can be quite controversial, but they are so comfortable and they have really good sole, which can be resoled, which I actually probably should do that this winter. You can send them in and they'll put a new bottom on for you. Forget about the Tevas and the Chacos. These are the only sandals that I think are worth getting. Incredibly comfortable and minimal, which I really, really love. I don't like clunky, thick soled shoes. So these are great. I can go from the trail right into the water with these, and Nick has a pair. He also loves them. You could tell I have a tan line because I wear them all the time. So these are really adjustable as well. So you have over here and over here, and then in the back. So you can really get them fitting exactly as you want. And like I said, they're just so comfortable. So this is Nick's. He actually got his resoled, and you could see they put a little patch on there. So he got this bottom part replaced. And I just love being able to get this stuff replaced and instead of having to buy a whole new shoe. So it's pretty cool. Once you go with the Bedrocks, you're not gonna go back. Next, we have a Garmin Instinct watch. Now this is relatively new for me. Nick has had the Instinct watch for years now, and I have wanted it for so long, but they didn't start making a women's version until this year. And the women's version is basically exactly the same, but a smaller watch face, which I really need because my wrists are very small. So right when this thing dropped, I pretty much bought it, and I love it. It's just rugged enough. It is great for outdoor activities. I'm not worried about it getting scratched or broken or anything like that, but it still looks, I think, nice just for everyday watch wearing. It is so customizable, so you can customize all the buttons, the watch face, and all the data that you want on here. But I love it for hiking because I can see my heart rate, I can see the elevation, I can see the sunset and the sunrise. It's great even just for camping, knowing that information. The time, I can track my route and just see how, see my pace, for example, when I'm hiking, which is, again, a good thing to know. So it's such a great watch, and they make it in all sorts of colors. You can get a solar version of it. If you get the solar version, it can kind of charge while you're outside. I did not get that because it was quite a bit more expensive. But yeah, the Garmin Instinct watch is fantastic. Speaking of Garmin, the next thing on my list is the Garmin InReach Mini, and this is just a satellite communicator. So it's really nice to have that peace of mind knowing that if there is an emergency with me or someone I'm hiking with, that I can communicate in an emergency and get some help to me. So it really is just nice to have that peace of mind. There are GPS units that they make that have this InReach technology built into it, so you can kind of get 2 in 1 if you want. But this does come with a subscription service, so just kind of be aware of that. And this is not the only satellite communicator option, so I would definitely look at options and subscription plans and see what features that you really want when it comes to communicating. I use the very basic minimal plan, and I just like this brand. So that's why I went with the InReach. I also use this if I'm camping, let's say by myself, which I don't really do that much anymore, but in the fall I did go camping by myself, and I was able to get to my campsite where I didn't have cell service, and I could send Nick a message through this communicator, and I told him, hey, this is where I'm going to be for the night. So he knew that I was okay, and he also had a GPS location of exactly where I was camping. So it's a really handy device just to have for a lot of different outdoor activities, not just hiking. So next I want to talk on clothing just very briefly. I have the shirt, the pants that I'm wearing. So first off, the shirt. This shirt and this shirt I love. I've talked a lot about this yellow one. They are UPF 50, so they have sun protection, which is huge. And they also keep you pretty cool, or at least they're not hot when you're wearing them. This one is Patagonia, and then this is one I found on Amazon for a lot cheaper. I will link to both of them below. The material is slightly different, but I love them both. And these are great for just hot, sunny days on the trail when you have had enough sun and you just want to keep yourself protected without caking on a ton of sunscreen, which I don't like to really use anymore. I'd rather cover myself up. They also have these hoods, which if I'm wearing a hat, which I normally am, this hood stays on really well, again, protecting my ears and my neck, and it's just, they're the best shirts ever. You also could get them wet, and then they will keep you really cool on hot days. So I wore this one in the Grand Canyon, and I got this wet, and it just helped cool me down when the temperature was over 100 degrees. It just saved me. And then I also want to mention these pants that I'm wearing. These are from Athleta, and they are the greatest pants I have ever found for hiking. I have them in the green and the black. They have 3 pockets on each leg, zipper pockets. It's nice and high-waisted. They don't fall down. I think they're so flattering, so comfortable. They're made of this nice material that's like not gonna rip easily, so they're not just some legging. They actually have a little bit of roughness to them that is great for hiking. So these are amazing. I think they might be out of stock right now, but I think there's something that they bring back maybe in the colder months or in the fall. So check on that, and I will link to everything that I can in the description below. So these are just some of my favorite clothing items, but if you want me to do a deep dive into some of my favorite hiking clothes, make sure to comment below. Next up, we have the trusty old trekking poles. Now, I won't go too deep into these here because I have a whole separate video on why you need to get yourself some trekking poles, and I will link to that here if you want to watch that. But trekking poles make your hikes so much easier. There's so much less impact on your knees and your hips. And so when I'm going on a longer hike where there's pretty significant uphill and downhill, I love to have the trekking poles. And there are a bunch of other uses as well that I go deep into in that video. But these are by Cascade Mountain Tech. I'll link to them below. They're not that expensive. I've had these for years. We have 3 pairs actually, and they are great. Next up is a fixed blade knife. This is by Benchmade. Nick got this for me for, I think, Christmas one year. I love it. It's such a great size. It's got this beautiful wood handle, and a fixed blade knife is just gonna be so much stronger than a knife in a Leatherman, for example. So I do have a Leatherman, but if I really needed a knife, you really want a fixed blade knife that has the steel that runs all the way through the handle. And this one is just so beautiful. It feels just so nice in the hand, and I just love it. Next up are Relight electrolyte packets. I have the bigger container that I actually drink these every single day. Even when I'm at home, I take the bigger container camping, and then I have these little packets that I take when I'm hiking. Electrolytes are so important. They are a big factor in helping you stay hydrated when you're actually out on the trail. These taste great and they are super salty, which I love. They're made with Redmond real salt, which comes from Utah. It's the only salt I use. These come in all different flavors and they are just a must for me when I am out hiking. Next on my list is a Splint, which might surprise you. If you're not familiar with this, there are a lot of uses for it, which is one of the reasons that it's on my list. Essentially, it can be used to create a splint in the backcountry when you're out hiking if someone rolls an ankle or breaks a bone or something. It comes out like this. It's made of aluminum and then this kind of cushy padding, but you can bend it in all sorts of ways and mold it to whatever you're trying to splint. So it's really handy to have for that, and it really weighs like nothing and it takes up hardly any space in your pack, so it's a great thing to have in there. Now, this also can be used for potentially some survival situations. You could take off this foam part and use the aluminum as a signaling mirror, or you could maybe make yourself a little bowl with the aluminum if you needed to hold some water or something. So, you know, you can get really creative with this one thing, and I think it's just a cool thing to have. I've actually even used this as like a seat cushion before. So I love to have this in my pack for just those injuries out on the trail. I like to be as prepared as I can when it comes to first aid, and this is just one of those simple things to carry that has a ton of uses. Last but not least, we have the trusty Sawyer Squeeze. So I'd put my dirty water in here, screw this on top, and then push it out, and then I have drinking water. There's also different ways that you can put this on top, and then I can put this right into my water bladder. I have been using the Sawyer Squeeze for years and I really love this. Nick also carries one. On a day hike, yeah, you probably can carry all the water you're gonna need, but what if you need more? What if you stay out longer than you think? What if it's hotter than you think and you're sweating more and you're drinking more? Having a way to get drinking water when you're on the trail, for me, is super important. So I'm always carrying this. You know, one of the downsides, I guess, to this is that you never want to let this freeze. I will say that. So that's an important consideration when you're storing and when you're carrying this thing in different seasons. But in general, it's just been the best way I've found to filter my water. It's small, lightweight, reliable, and I just love it. All right, so there you go. These are my current favorites. I want to know what you are loving when it comes to hiking gear and clothing. Let me know in the comments below, and make sure to hit that like button if you like this and subscribe to my channel for more hiking and camping videos every single week.